Now I want to turn completely in an opposite direction. I want to go to Morocco with you. I love Morocco. Been there a bunch of times, done a lot of work. And I want to say, with Morocco and with Malaysia and with Congo and with many places that I've been around the world that are all or mostly Muslim, Syria, parts of other countries, parts of India, I have only met friendship and kindness and generosity. We have so much bullshit propaganda about Muslims. They're the current enemy, brown-skinned people and Muslims. And it is awful. It is awful what is happening. You can find in any group of human beings people who are not good, people who wish poorly for others. But I'm just telling you, my experience over decades, I've only been shown kindness. This is a digression alert. On my first trip to the Amazon in '97, I lived with natives on the river for a month. And I showed up with all kinds of protective clothing. Everything but that beekeeper crap, you know? And by the end of the first afternoon, I was down to what I wore for the month. A Patagonia bathing suit. No shoes, no shirt. Because everybody else was doing that. And by the way, every Weekly Reader, who knows Weekly Reader? You know Weekly Reader from school? Okay, Weekly Reader lies. They just flat out lie on two counts, but I'll mention one. One is that if you get in the water with piranhas, they will eat you and you will die. It is not true, folks. Piranhas are vegetarians unless you throw meat in the water, and then they go completely berserk. But I encountered, again, the first day, kids swimming in the water, piranhas all around, and I thought, but Weekly Reader said, and I kind of like dipped my leg in a little and took it out like, I don't want to be eaten here. You know, they said they can eat a cow in 2 minutes. Well, that's what Weekly Reader said. Of course, it turned out not to be so. They will only attack you if you're bleeding. So menstruating women, people with injuries and cuts, don't go in the water. Otherwise, you can dive into a school of piranha and they just kind of get out of your way. But the point of this digression is not swimming with piranha. I don't even know how I got there. I wanted to go see shamans. And the people I was staying with said, why do you want to go see shamans? I said, what do you mean, why do I want to go see shamans? Because they know a lot. And they were like, do they really? They had already lost a lot of that traditional knowledge. And we went around and we met with shamans all over the place. And one woman who we kind of chased around for a few days, it was one of those comical things where we'd show up someplace and go, is Maria Sina here? And they go, oh, no, man, she left about 2 hours ago. Okay, where's she going? Oh, she's going to Aranduba. Okay, and we'd go there and say, hey, is Maria Sina here? Oh, yeah, man, she was here, but she's gone now. And this went on and on for a while, and we finally caught up with her, and she was this 103-year-old woman. And she had very clear eyes and beautiful hair and soft hands. Of course, she was about this big because time kind of wears you down, okay? But she looked at me and she said, you bridge the worlds. She'd never met me before. She didn't know anything about me. She'd gotten no introductions, but she basically sat there and told me about my work. And she said, you need to help people to understand each other. You need to tell people about each other. When you're told that by a 103-year-old Amazonian grandmother shaman of shamans, you pay attention. And that became a real galvanizing moment for me. That became a real inspiration for me. And in all of my travels, I try to do that. I try to bridge worlds, try to not only be an ambassador of goodwill and show up not as an American expecting everything to be like it is back home. If you want it to be like back home, stay home. If you're not willing to endure the discomforts, if you're not willing to stretch yourself, if you're not willing to do what they do, don't go there. That's easy. Simple. So in any case, a lot of my work is fostering understanding. And a lot of my reason for telling people about other people is so that we generate more understanding of the lives of others who are different from us. In Morocco, oh, wait a second, where am I going here? I'm going backwards. In Morocco, saffron is a big deal. Saffron is the pistils of crocus blossoms. And right now, today, per gram, saffron is worth more than gold. So for all those people who are looking at those ads on, late night TV, you should be buying gold. No, you should be buying saffron, actually. It's going to do more for you. So it's very rare and precious. It's the single most expensive spice in the world. It's grown all over the place. Morocco, India, Greece, Spain, Italy, France, Switzerland, and on and on and on. The best saffron seems really to come from Iran, Kashmir, and Morocco. The greatest concentration of active principles in those. The Arabian Nights just kind of gushes about saffron. I love this, she outlives the moon when brightest bright. I mean, just on description alone, I want it. Just give it to me. Beautiful stuff. We know a lot about the compounds in saffron. We know that crocin is a very significant compound for cardiovascular health, for brain health, and also for enhancing the health of skin. Saffronol is what gives saffron its characteristic kind of musky aroma. It contains a bunch of other antioxidants which are familiar to you, aromatic compounds, so that's why it has such a lovely, strange, complex fragrance. And some of the big antioxidants, certainly quercetin. Quercetin is probably the most beneficial antioxidant compound out there. You want lots of quercetin in your diet? Eat onions. They're almost all quercetin. Eat onions. I went on the Dr. Oz show and advised people to eat onions. And he was so surprised. He was like, really? That's your best recommendation for antioxidants? Like, absolutely. You want to live a long time? You want to live healthy? Eat onions. So it's a traditional medicine. It's been used to relieve depression. It's been used to relieve pain. It's been used to improve heart health, for anxiety, and for promoting tranquility. There was an excellent study done a few years back showing that saffron extract is helpful in slowing down the process of early stage Alzheimer's. I'm not saying it's a cure. I'm not saying it will halt the disease in its tracks. I'm saying that it helps to significantly retard the progress of early stage Alzheimer's. And if you've dealt with people who are dealing with dementia, if you've dealt with people who are dealing with Alzheimer's, any benefit is helpful. There are currently studies ongoing about enhanced cognitive function and depression and other things. I think we're going to see a great future for saffron. Fortunately, the clinical dose needed is typically around 30 milligrams, so even though saffron is quite expensive, that can be affordable. Saffron cultivation is harvested sometime between October to November, and if you've ever been in a field of crocuses, they all just open up at once. So all of a sudden it's like, hey, everybody, on high alert, and I see this all over the world. When it's harvesting time for goji berries, for example, in northern China, kids aren't in school. Parents aren't at other jobs. Everything but the restaurant stopped. Everybody's out picking goji berries because they're ripe today. And next week, they'll be rotten. This is ripe today. Next week, it'll be brown. So you have people out in the fields harvesting these crocus blossoms, doing it by hand. This is not mechanized work. Soil, altitude, rain, all kinds of conditions dictate the quality of saffron, just as they dictate the quality of apples, of hops for beer, of corn, you name it. All of these natural factors. You can look at St. John's wort from Ethiopia and St. John's wort from Germany and see double the concentration of certain actives in the Ethiopian St. John's wort. Those are growing conditions that are doing that. So the plucking the pistils is skilled labor. I'm a real hands-on guy, okay? If people are going to the waterfall barefoot, I go to the waterfall barefoot. If people are, fishing off the coral, I'm fishing off the coral. If whatever they're doing, I'm doing. If it's a firewalk, I'm firewalking. I'm terrified, but I'm firewalking. And I mean really terrified. Nobody likes stepping into a roaring pit of burning, blazing fire. It's just stupid and counterintuitive. But anyway, so I see these women plucking the pistils, and I think this can't be rocket science. How hard can it be? So they showed me, they gave me the crocus blossoms, and I sat there and just broke every single one of them. And they go, no, like this. And because they'd pick it perfectly. And I go, okay, just like this, and break it in half. So I never got the technique and I never got the job. It takes 150,000 flowers and 250 hours of work to make 1 kilo of saffron. And that's a whole bunch of women sitting around picking pistils out like crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing the labor that goes into this. And here are the women doing this. When it is time to pluck the pistils out of the crocus blossoms, they dress up ceremonially. And they all sit down and gossip. And they laugh at you when you don't understand their language. They look at you and smile and point and laugh at you, and clearly they're making fun of something, and that's just fine. I found that an interesting thing about many native cultures, actually, that there, in not all cultures, but in many, there's this constant making fun of people. So like in Vanuatu, my friends, they'll all make fun of somebody. And that person will laugh too. And then they make fun of you, and you laugh, and then you make fun of them, and they laugh, and it's never mean-spirited, and it's just like part of the day. It's like, look at him, he's digging backwards, or whatever it is.